Okay, it's Labor Day, but of course I'm working. Of course I'm working, and of course I'm continuing to give you more information about the Madeline Soto case, the tragedy, the fact that the 13-year-old girl lost her life at the hands of her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. I want to give you guys more details about this poem that's titled Always, that a lot of people are talking about. So I want to be a little more clear and tell you everything about when I received it, where I got it, try and make a little bit more sense, I hope, regarding this poem, and something that the Lord showed me the other day that gave me a clue where I believe I have more insight as to who wrote the poem and potentially where it was found. So let's dig into this. Okay, there's this poem, Always, written to Maddie, Madeline Soto. Now, it's one of 600 photos that we will ultimately get. I don't know how long it's going to take them to give it to us, but we'll get it. That's where I got it from. It was Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. The YouTuber The Docket, he's really good about getting FOIAs, public records, well beyond thinking you just need to send an email or fill out a form. He's been doing so much more work behind the scenes, if you guys only knew. Talking to people, calling people, following up. A lot of the stuff I haven't done. I like to keep things in writing to keep track of stuff, but sometimes you need more than that. Thank God anyway, The Docket received an invoice for his records request he sent to Florida authorities. Okay, that invoice totaled $578.68 for 600 photos in the case of Stephan Sterns. Now, we didn't know what these 600 photos are. They don't exactly give you information like we've got 600 photos of this. It's just going to be a dog search, or 600 photos of the townhome. They don't tell you that kind of stuff generally. So we weren't sure if those 600 photos were part of the 800 photo dump that we already got. We didn't want a duplicate of 600 photos paying nearly $600 after already getting photos from a different Orange County entity. So The Docket ended up paying $26.15 for only 30 photos. I misspoke in my previous video. I get these numbers mixed up. That's why I went through our text messages. I went through like the invoices. I was like, okay, what's what? He paid nearly $30 for 30 photos, just a subset of those 600 photos, to see, okay, let's just see what 30 looks like. Then we will be able to tell if they're just not a duplicate of the 800 we already got. Okay, that means it cost about $1 for each evidence photo, which is wild. But this might be why he learned it takes 3 whole minutes to just upload one photo. So I don't know what's going on with their system down there in Florida. Maybe it's a specific system. It takes a long time. I mean, they are huge images, but whoa, it doesn't take them that long to upload to Google Drive. So it must have taken that woman who uploaded those 30 photos an hour and a half just to get them uploaded. Now, this isn't even the redaction. This isn't even the time it takes to redact the photos. Certain photos can just, I guess, go up as is. Others, you will notice lots of redactions in them. Redaction time, uploading time, no wonder they charge so much. And yes, this is not the Osceola County Court website. I was kind of arguing with some woman on Reddit who claimed, oh yeah, everything on Osceola Court website is free. Yeah, that stuff is free, documents and stuff, but not all case documents. Many of the case documents, case photos and all that stuff, you don't get it from the court website. You get it from the other Florida authorities, including the state's attorneys and all those different entities. A lot of different police agencies worked on this case. The photos were done, these 30, but it took quite a bit of time, I guess, to get them uploaded. I was joking, these people need MacBooks or something to get them uploaded quickly. The Docket was joking that they need more employees. Maybe it's a combination of both. Either way, we're still grateful for these people who bend over backwards and get us the case evidence. In the meantime, we are still waiting not only on these 600 photos that cost more than $500, we're also waiting for another huge dump of evidence that cost more than $2,500 that the docket and I and another YouTuber paid for. So we're waiting to receive those. The way I understand it is the person, the YouTuber, the media entity who pays the big cost first gets the evidence first, and then it's released to other people. So we've seen other entities do that, other YouTubers do that, get a lot of good case evidence. Certain media entities might break their promise and not pay for it, as I understand it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Anyway, by Wednesday, August 28th, 2024, I was running around the place, but we received these 30 photos. The docket sent me a zip file. Eventually, I was able to get it downloaded and opened, but they don't have any explanations accompanying what you're getting. The only hints we have as to what these photos contain, sometimes in the description, you'll see all the evidence laid out on this white paper, and beneath it, it might have stuff written like glove box, contents of the glove box, or area behind shifter, or we have the file names to give us contextual clues, but not always. Sometimes the files are just random numbers. We have no idea. But these 30 photos contained photos of Sterns in the weird filters. To me, they look like Snapchat filters. I don't know if they're really Snapchat photos. That's just what I call them. We have some photos, at least one, of what appears to be Sterns' car near that vacation club place where he pulled into the parking lot and he moved Maddie's body from the passenger seat to the trunk. The reason I know it's so because the title of that photo is 9271 South John Young Parkway car. And then we had a few photos, maybe a couple, maybe 3 actually, that were obviously taken, like screenshotted, I believe, from Jennifer Soto's Instagram account. It looks like some of them were sent to someone else, but I think it's only 3. There's one of Jen and Maddie and some other guy. I think he's related to Jen. That's why I blocked his face out. It's not Sterns. Then there's a photo of Maddie standing with some kids. Her 10th birthday party. Jen is bragging, oh, Maddie had a blast or whatever. A great time. They all have on masks because it was 3 years ago. It was her 10th birthday party. What I found significant about that photo, I'm looking at every detail, there was Steffi Boo G. Steffi Boo G liked the photo. Of course, I'm thinking that's Sterns. That must have been his Instagram account because you can see the little circle, his little profile in there of the people who like the photo. I'm not sure if that's significant at all, and I don't know why they have one photo by itself of one of the little boys with a mask on. I don't know the significance, but in this 30 iteration set of photos, which contained random things, they also contained 2 photos of a poem named Always. It was titled to Maddie, and the poem appears to be a confession. So, I don't believe it's related to the Instagram photos or the other photos. I think it was just significant. It was titled Axon Capture Photo. In the file name, it had the date July 30th, 2024. So I'm wondering, did they just find this poem about a month ago? Maybe there was so much stuff to go through because I was trying to figure out in all these photos, people talk about what a mess the house was, the condo. It's not a condo, it's a townhome. I read it's a distinction. This is a townhome. So I'm wondering, some of these photos look like after the cops searched through stuff. That's probably why it's such a mess. But some of them may have been taken right when they came in, when they first secured the townhome. I don't know. Many people have been going through this poem, analyzing the handwriting. A lot of people are doing a good job, a great job of, I love watching The Docket, true crime with strategic eyes, grisly true crime. So many folks going through and just analyzing this whole case. And I've got to thank Scoop Wilson on YouTube too. All these people who are just, helping me get a perspective of the case. Some of them sending me information. It really helps. So check for all their links below. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to these people who are all covering the case, and especially The Docket too, because he's getting the case evidence and hopefully he'll be able to go live as soon as he gets stuff. We'll see. We're hoping to get more info this week. I know today's Labor Day, but hopefully within this week it'll start trickling in so we have more and more to examine. But for now, this poem, we get the contextual clues from the file names and everything. And it's interesting, on Reddit, people are thinking this is most likely written by Sterns because not only the handwriting, but he's focusing so much on himself, his feelings. If you haven't read it, once again, it reads always. Well, first it reads for Maddie with a big heart written in blue. I think it was Strategic Eyes who noticed it does look like this person really traced it. They really took their time writing this poem. I noticed there were no mistakes. The person puts a comma after every single line and puts a period at the end of each stanza. They were very careful with this. It reminds me of Sterns, the way he took his time, even made Maddie join in and paint those little figurines. It seems like it's written by someone who's really being exact. Maybe he looked at it as his last sad project with Maddie, his buddy, his partner, as Jennifer called Maddie. Anyway, always, and it's underscored, your hair was like honey. So, wow, I just realized that's in the past tense. With eyes stormy blue, gone far too soon, I will always miss you. Your smile was a treasure. Your laughter filled the room. This world is not the same. I will always miss you. And someone noticed too. It reminded them this world is not the same. Remember when Sterns, in one of his interviews, he said, it's not the same without her. It's not going to be the same without her. Or, it's not the same. People are picking up on things. I loved you so much. I would have died for you. With no end to my tears, I will always miss you. So notice it's like I. That song, that Beatles song, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. I always quote that song because it's like, it's all about me. He's the main character in his life. So we've got I. I will always miss you. I loved you so much. I would have died for you. With no end to my tears, I will always miss you. What about the tears Sterns caused Maddie? As I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Rest in peace, sweetheart. I will always miss you. Another heart. Now, we could probably talk for hours about the psychology of Sterns and what kind of pedo he is, and they're going over it on Reddit. Check that link below. But the sweetheart, not only has Sterns said sweetheart before, he says stuff like sweetie, and he's used sweet several different times. So sweet is a word he likes to say. I was trying to tell, maybe you can tell by the edges. I can't tell, perhaps, if this is paper. It looks like composition paper, of course. The red line on the left, but I can't tell if it was neatly torn out of something. Was it torn out of a journal or torn off the top? The edges look pretty clean, so maybe not, but it definitely looks like it was folded, and I'm trying to find it other places. Okay, so that's the poem. But okay, the other day, thank the Lord, I feel like I got this revelation. I was going through the original 800 photos we received already from Orange County, and I saw one curious PDF photo. It's giving me a clue as to where this poem may have been found. I can't tell because it's a redacted PDF photo. But anyway, this was either in the February 28th, 2024 section or the March 6th, 2024 section of photos from CSI Janiak, I guess you say that person's name, Janiak, at the dumpster containing images of Maddie's backpack and its contents. So there's different sections. And what makes it more difficult to decipher where this photo belongs, this PDF photo, is that some of the images are broken off away from the images into PDF files. If you guys only knew, some of them were HEIC photos. And that's what, your iPhone takes the photos and then it doesn't play nice with other stuff, and I had to change them to JPEG, and maybe I should have exported them. I don't know if that's what's making some people crash on the Patreon app when they're trying to view them or what. Anyway, this next dump of photos, if they give us any HEIC, I'm going to export them to JPEG differently. But anyway, it's in the group of PDF files that contains photos of Maddie's backpack contents. This is why I'm thinking this is where the poem may have been. I saw a PDF photo that showed the hot hand warmers, Maddie's backpack, and a journal. Now, even though this journal is open to a page and whatever they photographed is redacted, I can clearly see what looks like the capital letter A at the top. So I'm wondering, did Sterns, after her life was taken tragically, did Sterns start practicing this poem always in a journal first? People have noticed it looks like it's been traced over and over again, the poem. There's no mistakes I noticed in this poem. So how many times did Sterns practice it first, if he indeed wrote it, so he could write it eventually perfectly? And did he finally get it perfectly, according to him, get the poem written and then fold it up, put it in Maddie's backpack somewhere when he tossed it in the dumpster. And then I'm wondering, okay, why did one entity redact the poem and the other entity not redact the poem and release it to us? I'm glad they did, but I'm just like all these questions in my head. So the photo contains the file name July 30th, 2024. It also says Axon capture photos. So their Axon body cams can capture photos too. Was it captured by some cop's body cam when he was searching through items found in the townhome or in the backpack? My guess is that it was in Maddie's backpack. And if Sterns wrote it, when did he write it? Why did he write it? Did he stay up all night practicing? When did she lose her life? Imagine if Maddie lost her life at midnight as Sunday transitioned into Monday, February 26, 2024, the day they would report her missing. Imagine if Sterns stayed up all night practicing writing this poem. Unfortunately, you hate to envision, but a lifeless Maddie right there next to him or whatever. He is the type for exacting, perfecting the minutia. I guess in playing Warhammer or all these games, board games, the artwork he did and everything, I could see him practicing a poem, writing it perfectly for her all night. This goodbye poem. Also, what do you think the stuff is in the plastic baggie that's been redacted? Obviously, cops got that out of Maddie's backpack too. So you can tell because you see the backpack, it has a bunch of white paint on it. We don't know if Sterns did that or not. You see at least 2 journals, and you see there's something that looks like a bracelet or something, her charger, but you see one of those journals opened and the cop has on the white gloves and he's opened. It was enough to photograph it. To me, I think I see an A, so I think it may have been the Always poem. Maybe he was just opening her journal and writing in it. He really thought this journal wouldn't be found. They've also redacted something else in a green folder. I don't know what that is. We'll eventually see. We see Texas Instruments. We see other folded stuff, but I don't think it's the poem because it looks, I don't know, kind of too folded and crumbled up and dirty. There's a plastic bag and it's been redacted, whatever those contents are. And then on Maddie's laptop, you do see her winning that door decorating contest, which was really nice. But yeah, that's probably the Always poem, and I bet you he wrote it over and over. So this is why I think Sterns indeed wrote the poem. I think he stuffed it in Maddie's backpack before he dumped the backpack. He was thinking maybe no one would find it. Thank God the cops caught the dumpster, the garbage truck with all those contents. Imagine going through all of that smelly crap. I give cops their kudos. People can't imagine what they go through in solving these cases. I mean, I've seen other cases where it's like, oh, too late. The trash was already taken away to the city dump, and sometimes they do go over to the dump, of course, look for remains, look for other significant info, but I'm glad they caught this truck and they were able to get this. They were able to find Maddie's backpack. They were able to catch Sterns on camera dumping her backpack, so he has a direct connection to that, her laptop, everything in there. Maybe just Sterns thought he was smarter than the average bear. Maybe he thought he wouldn't be caught on camera. Maybe he thought they would buy his line about Maddie snoozing the whole ride next to him and writing this letter. Why did he write it? If he did, it is really almost 100% a confession, even though he doesn't talk about the actual act, the act of death, the act of strangulation. Boy, I suspect when we get the remaining portion of these 600 photos, we will see a lot more. We will be able to analyze a lot more, and maybe more things will become clearer to us as we again wait. I've still been checking every day to see, his next appearance is still scheduled for next month, October 14th. Sterns has a hearing, but I keep checking every day to see if it's going to say canceled or continued. Nearly every day I check because I'm wondering, is he going to switch his plea? What's he going to do? Is anyone else going to be arrested? These are the questions we have. So we'll see if we get anything this week. Maybe I'll look for all the Sterns interviews, if I can stomach his voice, really listen, improve the audio, see what I can pick up on. Some stuff I picked up on, bless God, and Jennifer's videos that I hadn't previously. The more and more I listen to them, especially the ones where you really need to enhance the voice, like when she's riding in the car, being transported to OCSO. So we'll see what happens next, but I really just felt the urge to get this up, to clear up information information about where Mr. Shakespeare Sterns' poetry came from. Of course, we still don't know the exact place, but this is where the evidence came from in that first iteration of 30 photos that the docket received. We should see 570 more photos coming, but it takes a long time for law enforcement to get these uploaded. Let's close with Acts 6:7. And the message of God kept on growing and spreading, and the number of disciples continued to increase greatly in Jerusalem. And a large number of the priests were becoming obedient to the faith, accepting Jesus as Messiah and acknowledging him as the source of eternal salvation. Thanks again for watching this. I hope you're having a great, restful Labor Day. Again, no matter what day it is, we look forward to all these victims getting justice in their case. And I think Maddie Soto's case has just really struck a chord with so many people because of the outrageousness of Sterns and even the outrageousness of Jennifer Soto, whom many people feel like just didn't protect her daughter. It might range from what she knew to what she didn't know. I think the more evidence we get, the more we'll find out how much she knew, how much she didn't know, and stuff like this from Sterns. It's pretty sickening. To me, he probably really thought he was in love with Maddie. You know, people try and examine his stunted level of maturity and whatever he might have undergone as a youth. Of course, no excuses, no justification. They say hurt people, but it doesn't make it right. And if his growth indeed was stunted mentally or whatever, psychologically, and he felt he was on the level of Maddie, I don't know his thinking. We'll just keep analyzing it. I think I might end up going to look for all of his audio interviews and see where we go from there. Thank you so much for watching. Check the links below and stay tuned.